This game is not suited for children. Hey guys, Dana here, and I'm back with another video. So, I would like to make a little announcement. I would like to say that for the rest of October, I will be posting Halloween or horror games. So, anything that has to do with Halloween, like Halloween Minecraft maps, and horror games, just to get into the spirit. So this game is called Cupid, and it's a visual novel, and I have played it before. I would like to say that, but it's been such a long time since I have played it, so I don't really remember. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I hope you enjoy. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. There's no need to explain. It's only natural. A mother loves her daughter more than anything else in the world. He hates you, doesn't he? The whole lot of them despise you, don't they? Chasing you into the forest and gouging a hole into your leg. All because you smiled at their husbands. And you know what? You deserve it, you freak. You disgusting, horrible, filthy little girl. Didn't I tell you to stay away from them? You never listen. Serves you right for being the little slut you are. But you don't have to worry, my darling. It's alright. Even if the whole world wishes you dead, I promise you this. Your mother will always be by your side. My goodness, child. Whatever has happened to you? A girl was slumped in the doorway, soaked by the rain. Her legs was covered in dirt and blood. She lifted her head upon hearing the priest's voice and stared at him with blank eyes. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. Oh no, she hobbled forward, her bloody leg giving way. Automatically, the priest rushed forward to steady her. Years of spiritual training had prepared him for the most unexpected guest to his church. He sprung into action. He ushered her to a pew, brought out some clean cloth and antiseptic, and began to bandage the wound on her leg. Throughout all of this, he found that he couldn't take his eyes off her. He would be gazing at the roll of bandages in his hand, deciding how to tie them, and out of nowhere, he'd be staring into her eyes. Even with all the mud and grime smeared across her face, he couldn't deny that she was absolutely beautiful. How old was she? 20, 18, 16? Her face was so young. The priest had long since aged past his desire for the opposite sex, but somehow something about her enraptured him. When he realized his own thoughts, he quickly steered his mind towards other matters. My child, what happened to you? She seemed to take all the time in the world before responding. He looked at me. Looked? He looked at me, and he touched me, and he started kissing me. At first the priest did not understand. Then he realized with a jolt of anger what she meant. It was happening more and more often nowadays. The young men of France these days were spirited, uncontrollable ruffians. A lady who walked home by herself one night would be prey to a few number of them. Lust. One of the 7 deadly sins. Hey, that's an anime, and this is a pretty good anime. I would just say that. The one that the priest personally despised the most. Following his brow in sorrow, the priest laid a hand on her thigh. You are safe now, child. God's house is a sanctuary for the faithful. I don't think he'll protect me. He looked at her in confusion. You see, Father, I have sinned again. Right there among the pews before the altar of God, she bowed her head. I'm sorry. Was she apologizing to him or to someone else? Her hair hid her face and her eyes, and the priest could make neither head nor tail of her. He suddenly realized that his hand was still on her thigh, and he hurriedly drew it away. I'm sorry. She repeated this phrase over and over. After a while, the priest got up. Don't fret, child. You are not to blame. I will contact the local custodian, but in the meantime, you are free to make yourself at home here. I will fetch you a hot drink. Patted her hand and left to go to the back room. She remained seated on the pew, her head bent forward. As the priest's footsteps faded away, the entire church fell into silence. Now that it was the dead of night, the clouds covered the sky. Barely a silver sliver of moonlight filtered through the stained glass. The girl sat alone in a ring of darkness. She opened her mouth. No, I know. If I may say my piece, surely. Yes, yes, mother. But he is so very kind. I fear for your safety. Child, follow mother's words and leave. You saw the look in his eyes, didn't you? You can't stay here. Even a man of God can stain you with the filthiest colors. I would just like to say beforehand, I'll just make that an announcement another time. Be a good girl and follow mother's words. But it is cold outside, mother. The rain has not let up. Can't I stay? Oh, all right. I suppose you can. But you must be wary of everyone in this church. Do you understand? You are so weak, my darling. You give my heart so much pain. I'm sorry, mother. I will try my best to stay out of trouble. How am I going to mind you like this? You attract so much misfortune everywhere you go. My poor child. My stupid little girl. Always a blight, aren't you? Whatever will you do without me? I'm sorry, mother. Thank you for always guiding me. It is all my fault. The girl sat in silence. The mother was right after all. She was always right. Everything was her fault. Her fist shook with a mixture of fear and conviction. She had to do penance. Mother, give me strength. There's something I wish to do. The girl rose from the pew. In front of her was the altar, and on top of the altar was an ornately decorated cross. It was as wide as her head, and the tip of the cross had been crafted that it was razor sharp. She left the pew, knelt briefly, and walked over to the altar. Don't tell me. You're quite sure you're doing this? The girl's arm trembled ever so slightly. What other way is there for me to atone? She picked up the cross. Oh, my darling daughter, mother is proud of you. Slowly she brought the sharp end close to her face, so that it hovered just above her left eye, and then she stabbed herself in the eye, the star, and the rose. A scruffy young girl in tattered clothes peeked through the open gates of Chateau du Sommel. I don't know how to say that. An afternoon Gothic was being held in the gardens. People from high-class estates strolled around the manicured gardens while chatting loudly with one another. They were beautiful ladies clad in silk and velvet, their necks adorned with pearls and jewels. A variety of food was displayed on the tables. The girl stared at the food. She hadn't eaten properly for the past few days. Are you hungry, child? Are you hungry, my dear? Rose girl. Yes, mother. Don't you worry. Mother will provide. You don't need those high-class foods anyway. They will upset your stomach. Now we've stayed long enough. Let us leave. Surely we can look around for a bit. It's still a little early. There was something else that called to her, other than the party itself. She walked to and fro from the gates, peeking at the crowd despite the urgings of her mother to leave. Just a tiny glance would be enough. The girl smiled at the thought of him. The owner of the chateau, the Marquis de Gaulle. The girl was drawn to him. He wasn't the same as other people. He seemed different somehow. He was kinder and would always hand her food when she delivered flowers. Her heart felt at ease with him. I do not care for him, but I wish you would stop oogling some man like a common whore. I just want to see him, Mother. What for? What good does his presence do you? He makes me feel that there are still good people in the world, Mother. It is hard to say, of course, dear. We do not know the real intentions people have. One can hope that real charity exists. But even good people will always put their needs first. Even your precious Marquise. Don't you think I'm a good person, Mother? Of course, child, you are special. Haven't I raised you as such? I have tried my best, my dearest. Yes, Mother, you keep me right. I love you. The girl stared at her shoes and looked around for a bit, hoping for just a glance before she left, and there he was. There was no harm in looking, for she reasoned. She would not enter the Marquis' world. Let her heart be filled with hope. He turned his eyes in her direction. Did he smile at her? The girl's heart stopped. Did he recognize her? She beamed. My, is this creature deaf as well as dumb? It might be, poor thing. Mademoiselle. The voice called to the rose girl. She gasped. It seemed that somebody else had noticed her presence. She turned to leave. No, no, my dear, poor little creature, don't run away. Charlotte, she stinks. Don't touch her. Came to crash the party, you little urchin, you hungry? Her stomach gave a low grumble. She was always hungry, it seemed, no matter how much or little she ate. Encouraged by the kindness the Marquise had shown her, the girl approached the woman. She teetered towards their table. What are you selling? Look at this poor creature. Is she selling roses? Those are ugly ones. But not as appalling as the rags she's covered herself in. Are you trying your best to be this repulsive? Do not be mean, Antoinette. Perhaps it's the commoner fashion nowadays. They laughed while gawking at her and her wares. Oh my, she only has one eye. Ghastly, but I can't look away. The other lady nodded her head. Let a sideshow sideshow attraction, you mean? The freaks at the carnivals. She's darling in her own dirty, monstrous ways. Maybe we can keep it. Hello, do you want some bread, urchin? Well, speak up. Maybe her tongue is short. Add that to the list of her sterling qualities. Quiet, Antoinette. Come on, don't be shy. Do you want some food? Let us hear you speak. Yes, madam. What? Yes, madam. I would be grateful. One of the ladies clapped in mockery at her reply. Oh, she talks. The lady handed her the bread, but snatched it away just before her fingers grazed. No, not before you dance for us first. Oh, make her do a handstand. I've seen one of those street people do that. Quite marvelous. Now I like to see that. This party is getting quite boring. Well, come on, ma bête. Dance for your food. The girl looked at the beautiful, cruel faces of the women. That look on them. It was a burning desire to hurt something, simply because they could. She knew that look. Before they touched her and hurt her, they had that burning look in their eyes. Oh, look what you did, Claudette. She's shivering like a leaf, poor thing. The lady was laughing as she said those words. I didn't do anything. She should be grateful for even offering her this much. Besides, these commoners are supposed to be jolly in their misery. Come on, girl, show us your joy. The girl moved away as they laughed. Mother, please save me, Mother. Haven't I taught you this time again and again? People are cruel, now you see it firsthand. Hey there. A child's voice called out from behind her. It belonged to a girl around 7, with chubby cheeks and a look of curiosity in her eyes. She wore an old blue dress, somewhat patched at the corners, but kept clean and tidy. She was not rich, but she had an air as if she owned the ground she stood on. Huh? Another commoner? This party is absolutely teeming with them. The Marquis loves these things. Heard he picks them randomly from the street. Should I get me one too? Do you think it is fashionable abroad? In his birth country, I mean. Persina? No, I heard he was from India. I heard a rumor he's a bastard son of a Greek queen. Goodness, that is so far-fetched. Ugh. I could barely pronounce his name, though. He really should change it to something more acceptable. Who knows what kind of demons he might attract with such a blasphemous name. Aha! It must be why all these nasty, horrid little creatures flock around him. Oh? Devil or not, I forgive him if he kisses my hand. The ladies laughed. Salop! Aren't you shameless? Don't lie. We all know why we're here. The ladies gossiped among themselves, openly ignoring the girl. The young girl took the slighting with a shrug. She approached the table and asserted her presence. What you doing? Goodness, they don't take a hint, do they? There was something shiny. It might distract them. Hey, you've been holding that bread for a long time. Aren't you going to give it to her? She pointed at the shabby rose vendor. Why do you care? Do you want the bread for yourself? I bet she's hungry too. I know, maybe you should toss the bread and see if they'll fight for it. The ladies laughed to themselves. The girl stared at them with confusion, her brows furrowed in a childlike understanding. Next thing everyone knew, she had swiped the bread from the woman's hand. Oh my! How rude! Horrible, filthy girl, give that back! The girl sniffed the piece of bread and nibbled at the surface. Yummy, it's still warm. She shoved the bread in the urchin's face. The scrumptious scent of the bread flooded the rose girl's nose. Lick it. The sugared butter tastes good. No, you devil child, give that back. The urchin licked it. Her tongue was coated in sweetness. She stood there, squeezing the taste in her tongue. The girl grinned at her, and she couldn't help but grin back. Sorry, here you go, it's all yours. Ugh, disgusting. Like we're going to eat anything that's been in your filthy mouths. Wow, so this is ours now? You ladies are so nice. Cheeky little brat. I'll have you thrown out of this party. I'll have you... A young man strode to the commotion, a sweet scent lingering as he passed. The rose girl felt her mouth well up. His presence filled her body, almost as if her hunger was abated. She blushed furiously. What a strange effect he had. Gilliam? Gilliam? I don't know. Ladies. Oh, Sir Gilliam. I just came to check in on my esteemed guest. Is everything alright? Are you enjoying yourselves? One of the ladies started fanning herself with obvious annoyance. While these little beasts have been harassing us. Yes, my lord. We were just minding our business when this girl swiped the food off our table. Horrible little nits. The girl stuck her tongue out at them. The lady wiped her eyes and mock tears. See, look at that. It's absolutely monstrous how these children act around adults now. There's no respect, Messiah. I worry for the next generation. Oh, Charlotte, don't cry. Well, my lord, we would all breathe a little easier if those children were sent on their way. Yes, who knows what kind of mischief they might be up to. They might set fire to the tables, you see. Oh? Or steal our jewelry. In fact, I think my pocket watch is missing. No, how unfortunate. One of the ladies continued her childish wailings. It is, Messiah. It's unfortunate how you allow your important guests to be treated this way. Please deal with these vermins. Throw them out now. Oh, my sweet ladies, I'm stricken with grief at your misfortunes. Allow me to offer my heartfelt apologies. Unfortunately, this child is my important guest today, and you are sad to say, paltry squatters. Excuse me? Madame Charlotte of Montpellier? I don't remember sending you an invite. Same for you, Lady Antone and Lady Clem. Most people I invite are huge patrons of music. That is why they are here today. They came to listen to Mademoiselle Catherine Louise Paris. She is the 7-year-old piano prodigy who played for the Queen last summer. The man pointed to the girl busy chewing her half of the bread. The Rose Girl just stared at the unfolding situation. Well, that's... And I'm sure you were aware of that, were you not? No matter, I'm always happy to see you, ladies. It is my pleasure to have you here. But I hope you do not mind giving some of the food away to my townspeople. That's why I keep my gates open. My servers are instructed to serve anyone who passes by, not just my guests. But don't you fret, my darlings. There is plenty more to be served. The ladies blushed in embarrassment, and one of them began to fan herself even faster. Excuse me. Marquise walked up to the two girls. The Rose Girl's heart beat so fast it made her head feel light and dizzy. She had never been this close to him. It made her feel a mixture of fear and elation. Lady Catherine, your father has been looking for you. It is almost time for your performance. The girl looked up at Marquise and did a little curtsy. My apologies, sire. I didn't mean to cause a clatter. Gilman chuckled. I saw the whole thing, ma chère. You put those ladies in their place. They were being mean to her. Narrowed his eyes at the quiet girl. She hid behind her basket of roses. She couldn't look at him directly. He was like the sun. It hurt just to be in his presence. Yet there was relief in her heart as he stepped closer to her. I've seen you before, haven't I? The Rose Girl nodded and made a curtsy. I deliver roses to your house sometimes, sire. Yes, the girl with the sweetest face. The Rose Girl blushed. I love your roses, by the way. They stay fresh longer than they should. You tended to them with love. Thank you, sire. Do you have a name, young lady? What's the matter? It's alright, young lady, if you would rather not. Let's call her Rosa. Rosa, it fits her. I think she forgot her name, or she lost it. The Marquise nodded wisely. A valid point. Are you alright with that, Rosa? Yes. Come on, Rosa. You will watch me play, right? Her eyes darted from the girl to the Marquise. Oh, silly. Oh, Sir Gilly doesn't mind. Gilly? He's really nice to me and my family. And he helps the people around town, too. He won't throw you out. The Marquise held his right hand in the air as if swearing an oath. I won't. So cute. It's like, the way they interact is like, they're so kind. This kind of restores hope in humanity, but it's a game, so it's not really humanity. But I know that there's nice people out there in the world. See, come on, you're invited now. You're my special guest. There's plenty of food inside too, Rosa. Please help yourself. Thank you, sire. Rosa is coming, yay! Now, this is my first public performance, Rosa. I am a bit nervous. Catherine scratched her head. What will I do if I make a mistake? Papa will be very upset. The Marquise knelt in front of Catherine and rubbed her shoulders fondly. You won't make a mistake, ma chère. I can't talk. Ma chère. I don't know how you say that. I don't know how you say that yet. As long as you put your head into the keys. Play to touch your audience, and any mistake won't matter. Do you understand? Catherine stared at the Marquise. Not really. The man chuckled. You will someday. Just play your first song with me in your mind, will you? Something that you think. Oh, no. Something that you think will make me smile. Gilliam held Catherine's clear young eyes in his gaze. He kissed her hand. It was covered with sticky sugar and breadcrumbs. Catherine blushed. It was the first time she looked embarrassed by anything. It would be my pleasure, sir. Catherine trudged up the wooden podium and walked towards the middle of the stage. The crowd chatter died down. She curtsied in front of her audience, waved to her father, and stole a glance at Gilliam. The man gave her a tiny nod. She sat down in front of the piano, admiring the cream and ebony keys underneath her fingers. Her own piano was broken and beaten. Her father had sold his horse for it. The A3 key never played, and the strings would creak when it was cold. But it had never failed her. She knew the keys like they were her own fingers. She whispered to the new piano softly, as if coaxing a beautiful, untamed animal. Let's be friends, okay? She saw Rosa at the far end of the podium, watching her diligently. There was a renewed vigor in her blood. She could hear the keys calling out to her. A song that would make him smile. She placed her fingers on the keys. She began to play. As the ring of the first few notes, it became apparent to the audience that this girl was something special. Here was a little girl, barely tall enough to reach the pedals of the piano, playing as if she owned it. There were times she'd miss a note or two, but that didn't matter. She played the song to make someone smile, and it touched everyone present. Her musical skills was far beyond her years. Her fingers caressed the keys as if she was making a flower crown, carefully weaving the petals. She knew the correct way to tie the leaves so they wouldn't tear, like all smart little girls did. As the piano sang under her hands, Catherine seemed to disappear right in front of the audience's eyes. She was just a vision after all, somebody leading them down a dream. A dream of a garden in the springtime, the shade of a tree on a windy day. The couples in the audience tightened their grip on the hands of their partners. Some closed their eyes and let the music saturate their soul. Some memories of youth, a first love, the yawn of a newborn. Rosa's eyes shone as she stared at Catherine. Her heart was captured by this image of her. The young girl swayed her head to the music, smiling as the notes poured out of her. She couldn't take her eyes away from Catherine's glowing face. Was this happiness? Was this love? She looked like she was in love. And she was, wasn't she? In her innocence, she was still in love with life. In love with her family, with her pets, in love with every new discovery. She was full of hope. It was a bittersweet feeling for Rosa. A happy teardrop rolled down her cheek. She wanted to warm herself in that hope if she could. In the audience, Gilliam and Catherine's father sat beside each other. Sir Perry, your daughter is Perry. Your daughter is amazing. She is, isn't she? I mean, pardon my arrogance, Malige. I am a very proud father. You see, no pardon necessary, sire. Has she found a sponsor yet? The Duke of Versailles once spoke to me about it, but we have not made any arrangements. Then I must steal her away as soon as possible. Sire? I'd like to be Catherine's primary sponsor, if that's all right with you. Why, sire! And to further commemorate my status, the piano that she is playing right now, it is hers. I've bought it for her. Eyes widened in astonishment. That is... Francisco gulped. This is beyond generous, sire. Smiled. Then I must make it hard for you to refuse me, you see. Well, I must make it hard for you to refuse me, you see. I took the opportunity of asking you outright. You see, the Duke might offer an extravagant piano plated in gold. In that case, I have no choice but to humbly concede. What? I am kidding. The Duke of Versailles is the worst Messiah you'll ever meet. The man chuckled. Of course, I shall be paying for her musical tutoring as required, along with the ample stipend to accommodate your family. You don't have to look so surprised, Messiah Perry. Your daughter is a star. There is an irreverence about her that enraptures the soul. There is no doubt in my mind that she will succeed. Thank you deeply, my liege. Please call me by my name, Messiah. Let me remind you, this generosity isn't without charge. Her tutoring will be done at my house. I want to monitor her progress. Apart from that, I'd very much like Catherine to visit me and play from time to time. Music is one of my true passions. Her presence would benefit my mood tenfold. Of course, sire, that is a small price to pay for all you offers. On the contrary, Messiah, you don't have to decide now. Kindly think about it. Thank you, my lord, Sir Gilliam. After the performance, Catherine and Rosa went to the Marquis' garden to play. Francesco and Gilliam lingered on their tables, sorting out the details of Catherine's further education. Emily Perry wandered about the crowd searching for a familiar face. She had finally arrived halfway through Catherine's performance, just in time to gush at her little sister's applause. Unfortunately, she couldn't find her father in the crowd. When she finally caught sight of the back of his head, she approached him hastily. "Father, there you are. I've been looking all over for you." Emily stopped as she saw the man her father was talking to. It was none other than the Marquis himself. She fixed her hair self-consciously and curtsied. "My lord, pardon my intrusion. I didn't realize—" Gilliam smiled at her kindly. "You are free to intrude any time, my lady." Emily smiled back. Just as the rumor said, the Marquis was easy on the eyes. "To whom do I owe the pleasure of your acquaintance?" "This is my eldest daughter, Emily. Pardon me for not introducing her sooner." Charmed, Gilliam offered her a seat. Emily sat across from the man. "Well, it seems talent and good looks run in the family." Francesco rubbed his neck. "Yes, my daughters are my pride and joy. Thankfully, they both took after their mother." "Surely not," Messiah queried. "The eyes of yours." They do have his eyes. Earnest and loving eyes. Emily snorted at such sappy words. Her father was clearly basking in the compliments. If this really was the famous Gilliam the rumors talked about, then he wasn't exactly much of a charmer, was he? She didn't know what all the fuss was about. The ladies in the house she worked for could not seem to stop talking about this man. Admittedly, there was something more. Oh, no. I was reading that. There was something morbidly curious about the way he looked at people. Like he was always distracted and could only say words that were expected of him. "I'm pleased to have finally met you, sire. I've heard a lot about you on my travels." Good things, I hope. Depends on the tabloid and the day of the week." Emily thought to herself and chuckled. "You are governess, I was told. Where do you work?" "With the Dmitri household, sire." "Ah, yes, I heard you are marrying into the family soon." "Oh, father, I told you not to tell anybody yet." "I didn't, but you know how people talk. Word travels fast." I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and if you liked it, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. That's all for now. Bye-bye.